Welcome one and all to another edition of Football for All. I am Zach Keilman. Joining me today is the great Aaron Ellis, who is our globe-trotting football sensation. It's been a little bit since we've had him on the show. If many of you haven't listened to previous episodes, please, I recommend you check those out. He is currently in the Czech Republic. Was supposed to be playing a new season for the Ostrava Steelers here shortly. But Aaron, if you'd like to and care to share, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen at least anytime soon. Am I correct?
Well, hopefully. I mean, we're going to see how everything turns out with the coronavirus and all that. But originally, our first game was scheduled for April 5th, and the first game of the league was going to be on March 29th. But with everything happening, so far the league has only said we're postponing it for 30 days. And then after that, we're going to see, if it's getting better, if it's getting worse, and then they'll make a decision on if we're going to play or not.
Now, do you know if that was more of the league voluntarily suspending play, or was that based on more of a government instruction of, say, like a crowd size or just public gatherings, anything that's similar to what the United States is imposing right now?
For us, I think it has more to do with the country itself, but because we were originally talking about possibly playing just without fans until everything gets, handled. But I mean, all the cities in Europe and everybody's going on like lockdowns for a couple weeks to a month at a time, where you're only allowed to go outside, for essentials, going to the shop, going to work, and that's about it. So as of right now, in Ostrava, I think gatherings of over 100 people were banned. So that had a large play to do with that as well.
What is the general atmosphere to you, or at least to you and the team right now? Do you feel like the season will go on? Are you overly concerned on what the virus has an impact on your area, or what is the general vibe in your city right now?
I mean, we're definitely from the team aspect. We're definitely a little upset and a little frustrated because we just finished our 4 preseason mini camps with other teams from Poland, and we were looking like a very good football team, and we were all very excited for this season, and we're still hoping we'll get to play and show it, but if as far as the city atmosphere, I mean, it's basic. No one's really panicking. Everyone's wearing their masks and stuff, but Ostrava hasn't been hit very hard. We only have a couple cases, whereas maybe Prague has more cases, so it might be a little more severe there. But from the team aspect, I mean, we're treating it as if we're playing. We can't practice as of right now. We can't do anything like that. So I mean, we're just kind of watching more film and just hoping and praying that after 30 days, the league will reschedule our first match and we can try to get this thing underway.
Now, you can't do like team practices. Are you guys able to do like individual strength training, or is it just like film work and kind of communicating like playbook wise or other more non-physical activity type based activities? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, as of right now, we're on a 7-day lockdown, so we're not allowed to be going outside to the field and stuff like that. After the 7 days, we might be able to go outside and do some stuff. So like maybe I'll get a couple receivers at a time and go throw. But other than that, yeah, we can't practice at least for the next 2 weeks, which kind of sucks because we were really hitting our stride with that last camp with the Tiki Falcons in Poland. They're one of the better teams in Poland, and we felt that we pretty much did everything we needed to do, and that we were very effective on offense and defense. So taking this time off is going to suck, but at the end of the day, if we do end up playing, I mean, it's going to be the same thing for every team, right? And we're not going to be the only team that didn't get to practice as much. So, but I feel that we'll be fine regardless. But yeah, as you said, most of right now is just film work and communicating through our group chats and just kind of trying to stay in football mindset as much as possible and making sure guys are still trying to do some stuff at home just to stay in shape, because it's going to be a long 2 to 4 weeks of not doing a whole lot because most of the gyms out here are closed down. So,
yeah, that seems like it would be pretty rough. I mean, that's kind of what we're getting a vibe right now. I mean, us in Indiana, we just had all bars and like movie theaters and things closed up just for the time being, similar to that, to like other places like what you're mentioning right now. You kind of hinted at this in the answer to the last question here. Do you feel that all the teams will be now on equal plane coming in after 30 days, since there's no extra training or no extra scrimmages you guys can schedule? It sounds like you guys are just going to go straight into the season and hit the gas pedal.
I would say a lot of it probably has to do with how much time they'll give us, because we don't know any idea. But if I had to guess and say they allow us to start the season and maybe we play the first few games without fans until things, settle down, I would imagine that they would give us at least, I don't know, a week or two so we can practice a little bit. But I could definitely see the first game or two being rough for everybody, just a lot of like mental mistakes, just small stuff that normally gets cleaned up in preseason. But, going on a 3-week hiatus, you kind of brings all that dust back. So it'll be interesting to see that first game if we get to play it. I know a lot of the imports have gone home. So
Really?
It'll be interesting to see how these teams handle that, if they bring them back or what's going on. Yeah, because like a good friend of mine signed to play with the Prague Lions, our rivals kind of. And, he's got a family, so he had to go home and take care of his wife and kids. So I haven't heard about them coming back. I would assume they would bring them back, but, logistic wise, that might be tough for some of these teams. But me and Zach decided we're gonna lock it down here and wait till there's an official decision before we go home or not.
And I mean, that's fair. I mean, you guys, they did give you a 30-day period, so you do have some time at least, or 3 weeks, but it's a similar time frame.
Yeah.
What is the worst case scenario for you? I got some brighter questions besides this, but it seems like it's all doom and gloom. But in reality, what is the worst case scenario, like backup plan options, say football wise, if they have to, for example, cancel a season because this just goes way too long and there's no way they can logistically pull it off?
God, that is a tough question. I mean, for me personally, worst case scenario is, this league doesn't kick off, and then I'm unemployed. I'm a football player, and if our league doesn't kick off, that'll probably mean quite a few leagues don't kick off. And so if that happens, it's going to be hard to find a place. Brazil league starts in July, so that's later. That would be my best chance to go find another team. Or the Japan league, that also starts after July, so that would also be another opportunity if I can get into there. And it would be hard to try to get to CFL workouts because they've canceled most of them in America due to the coronavirus. So it would be tough to get on that atmosphere. It would definitely be hard on me because I needed this film. I needed this is a really good team and a good league to play for, and it was going to be a great opportunity for me to earn more respect in the global football world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping things work out, even if they shorten the season. I mean, just to get some games and play and win and get some more film. I mean, that's all it comes down to. So I mean, that's worst case scenario. I hope it isn't, but we got to do and handle what's dealt with us, right?
Absolutely. You got to take the hand that you are given. And you know what? Obviously all of us back here in the States, we wish you the best for continuing the season. I think it's safe to say everyone is, of course, wanting this to get passed in the best way possible, this entire scenario that we are all in right now. And we'll get through it together. Obviously I'll take a time here. People, wash your hands, keep cleanliness, general hygiene is the best way to fight the COVID-19 or coronavirus. Just, take care of yourself, and check up on people. Aaron, this is something I've been curious about, just because I know you and Zach are staying right now. And you mentioned that you have other imports heading home. They got families and, kids and, wives to go home to. How's this affecting American imports? What are the mindset for like guys like yourself that are trying to either go back to the USA or at least the travel ban might be affecting them going back to the USA.
Yeah, I know because a big part of playing as an American import in Europe, it's a small group. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of guys for one because they take the best that they can get. You know what I mean? And besides that, most teams can only bring in 1 to 3. So there's not a big group. So a big part is networking. So I always try to make sure I'm friends with and talk to as many American imports in Europe as I possibly can. And I know I'm friends with a couple guys that were in the France league, and then one of the quarterbacks in Italy. And he posted something how the lockdown in Italy is truly affecting them, how they can't even leave. Whereas out here in Czech, we had a choice. Some of these imports are leaving, so they can go back home, but in Italy, he can't right now.
Wow.
And that's definitely tough. I mean, for us, I see a lot of people talk about it as it's just a sport, but for us, it's our livelihood. You know what I mean? It's our job. And if we can't support ourselves off of it, then we get sent home. It's tough, man. You put all this hard work, all these hours, and you leave your families to come out here just to pursue this. And for this to hit us this hard, it's like, I feel for every single one of them, because I'm thankful I'm in the Czech Republic that hasn't been hit, like Italy or France or Spain. And I'm hoping we all can bounce back from this. And I'm hoping, I'm truly praying for all these guys over there that hopefully they find a good situation for themselves and they get home healthy and safe and all that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that I think people do forget. This is a career for people like yourself and others. It's a dream for people like yourself and others. There's a lot of football players out there that aren't just for the NFL, CFL, or XFL. It's pretty expansive, I have learned, especially since your travels in particular. And one thing I will have to mention on this is when I talk to people, like in particular the XFL, just because it's the big ticket right now, but yet it still has that mantra of players that people are claiming not good enough to make it. The question that I bring up is, why should we care, or people bring this up? And I always say that it's because these guys everyone's an underdog story for these type of leagues, and you always like a good underdog story. So, I mean, if you can't root for the underdog, what are you even there for? Unless you have a favorite team, but like, even then, like these guys, whether it's XFL or you guys out in the Czech Republic or in Italy or even in CFL, these guys are trying to fight to enjoy something that they have wanted all their lives, to play football and to play it on a big stage, or to play it as their passion. For you and others, it's not work. It's what you enjoy the most,
Yeah, exactly. And I think the biggest thing is, like you said, all these people, just because it's not the NFL doesn't mean, they're not great football players, man. I've played against and I've watched some really amazing football players out here in Europe. Really amazing football players I truly believe some of these guys can make it in the CFL, the XFL, and even potentially in the NFL. And a lot of people that are saying, like you said about the XFL, it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? Just because someone's not in the NFL doesn't mean they're not an amazing football player. A lot of it's timing, a lot of it's luck, a lot of it's getting the right look by the right person at the right time. I truly believe there's so many great professional football players in the whole world that, if given a better opportunity, they could make it in those bigger leagues. So, I would say to everybody, if someone's a professional in their sport, it doesn't matter what level a league it is. They're a professional for a reason. We got picked for a reason because we're the ones that are able to handle it as a professional. We're the ones that are able to perform on a high level at every moment we can. So, just respect everybody. You know what I mean? So, I think that's just a big thing I wanted to say as well.
So you haven't been doing football practices, but have you been using any of your off time to kind of explore or go around? What you've been doing besides maybe cooping up in the apartment?
Well, the day before they announced the lockdown, we got to go. I got to go to the mountains. it's the highest mountains in, I think, the Czech or just Ostrava. I'm not sure, but it was beautiful view, man. They got a bar at the top of the mountain, which sounds really European. So
Okay.
it took us like 3 hours to hike up that thing, man. It was brutal, but it was a great time, great view, great day. Other than that, now I mean, not really leaving the house much. We're doing all our workouts in the room, push-ups, sit-ups. It's kind of feels obnoxious, but we got to do what we got to do.
What is an indoor workout regimen for you? You said push up and sit-ups. Like, what do you have a rotating schedule? Like maybe every 3 days you do 3 different ones and then start again. What do you got right now?
Yeah, I mean, we try to mix it up. Me and Zach, we have this fun. It's not really fun, but we try to make it a game. We get a deck of cards, and you flip a card, and if it's a queen, you do 10 push-ups. If it's a 5, you do 5 push-ups, and you keep flipping until the whole deck's gone. And then, other than that, basic routine would just be high intensity workouts when you're doing it inside. So, a lot of like fast repetitions for a short period of time, then a short break, and then right back into it. So going from burpees to push-ups to planks to high knees to wall squats. Just always mixing it up at high intensity because, for football players, you want to be able to lift heavy weights, and that's the best way for us to stay strong. But when you can't do that, you want to make sure your endurance is up there. So that's pretty much all we're focusing on right now.
I imagine you don't have much options. To me, it just it's hard for me to imagine only having such a limited space to do all this stuff. I mean, it's possible, but football wise, you have to be able to do cardio one day, and then the next day you got to get some more of strength training and then endurance training. And, it's just, for me, it's just weird to hear that, but I mean, I guess you're making the best of your situation if I'm not saying that wrong.
We're trying. Been playing a lot of video games, though. I got to tell you, I haven't had this much free time to play this much video games since I was in high school, to be honest. So,
if you don't mind me asking, what's the general video game slate right now?
Oh, Call of Duty Warzone, my guy. Mm. If you're ever on, come play with me. Anybody else, hit me up. We can squad up. League of Legends, some Smite, just other MMO stuff.
Warzone's the free one, right? Yeah, okay. I had a buddy mention that to me. I gotta download that still. I know he's
free game. Free game, it's worth it.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair. Make sure. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got nothing else right now I'm doing. I felt kind of stir crazy myself the other day. Well, actually, that'd be yesterday, and with no sports here in the States or anywhere, it's driving me a little nuts.
Yes. It was crazy. They canceled the XFL and all the indoor leagues. But, I mean, it makes sense. As for us out here, we don't rely as heavily on ticket sales to, keep the teams running as much as American teams do. So the XFL not being, if they were going to play games without tickets, I think they would lose money than make money. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to me. But I'm hoping also these Europe leagues will kick off here soon within the month. So if anybody back home, these seasons start and y'all want to watch some football, it's going to be a great opportunity to get Europe football more well known.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys are going to have a little more exposure. I mean, you'll be right in the summertime. Canadian football should hopefully kick off around that time too still. So a lot of international football is going to be spotlighting this summer. Now, since now we here we go. The delay is over. You guys start off your season. Where would we generally find Steelers games? Ostrava Steelers, that is, not Pittsburgh Steelers.
It'll be through the league's website. If not there, then the Ostrava Steelers will set up a YouTube page to live stream the games. I know for a fact all of our home games will 100% be streamed, and then the away games depend on who we're playing, if they have the capacity to get it up, which I would assume most do. The only question would be the newer teams in the league that came from the lower division that might not just have as much funding as our teams to get it set up. But I would assume most of the games, if not all of them, will be streamed online. That's the promise I was given. So I'm going off of what I've been told.
Hey, that's fair. I gotta try and spread the word, man. I mean, some of us want to watch these games. I know I'm getting a little crazy for football. XFL's gone, so I'm not joking, Aaron. I was watching USFL football games from 1983 this past week, and just to get anything, and that was hard for me to watch. But it fills the gap, so I cannot wait for football to get back.
As soon as they make an announcement, I'll make sure everybody back home, and we'll talk about it. We can put it up on your website or something of the stream to come watch it. We'd love everybody's support if they're bored and want to watch some football. You just might have to wake up a little earlier, but I don't think many football fans would complain about getting football early in the morning.
Nah, I don't. I think the hardcore ones wouldn't mind at all. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You definitely send me a link. I will post that up for sure. So anyone listening to this, you'll get information on where it's the CAAF, right? That's it's the leagues. Yes, or the Czech football league is what you will get info on. I'll make sure we share that up once we get through all this. Again, guys, just stay safe out there, and we'll get through this all together. It's going to be all right. And we'll be fine. Aaron, you got any words for people back home here? I know it's been a little bit. Maybe something to say.
I don't mean to, get maybe not necessarily political, but we just need to understand. Everyone needs to just social distance. Stay home, man. I know right now everyone's talking about the death rate not being high, but we got to take care of those in our society that aren't the strongest. Older people with weak immune systems. So even though it might not affect you if you got it, you need to understand. We just need to be responsible and take care of each other, and not spreading it is the best way to help protect each other. So stay home, man. Just stay home for a few weeks, unless you absolutely have to go somewhere. But don't go out and doing dumb stuff just to say because you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, good words. I think we're finally all starting to wake up to that at this point. And social distancing is definitely something you got to take more serious. I honestly, I got to confess, I felt like I needed to get better at that just a few days ago. I think my brother Hunter, it gave me a wake up call on that. So definitely agree with you. Social distancing is definitely a must right now. Just do what we can, guys. Just do what we can. And again, we'll get through this. Aaron, pleasure getting an update from you. Like I said, it's been a little bit.
I always appreciate it. Be on your show.
It's no big deal. Hopefully the next update is me asking about how the season's going and, where your team is heading, because that is, I think that's what I imagine everyone who listens in for you is glad to hear from you. Don't get me wrong, but I know that I myself will definitely want to hear how the Steelers are doing come this summer. So we will find out. And Aaron, thank you again, man. Thank you very much. Aaron Ellis, everybody, quarterback of the Ostrava Steelers. We will hope to hear from him later in the spring, if not the summer, and we will hope to hear from him and catch some football from him. I will again have the details on the Czech Football League for you guys, so you can check out his games, because trust me, I'm getting desperate for football. Before I go, I just want to give another shout out to Aaron Ellis for once again tuning in. I appreciate talking to him as always. Good friend of mine, great teammate back in high school, of course, and it's fun listening to some of his adventures and just the perspective of where he's at. So happy that we got to listen into him again once more. It has been too long. If you want to listen into older episodes that he has been on, in particular following his journey through Europe, in Denmark in particular, you can also listen into when he made his decision about the Czech Republic and just some of our opinions of the Bears at the time. Those are older episodes you can find on Podbean or anywhere else that you listen to podcasts in particular. You can also find Aaron on multiple social media platforms. Look up him on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. He's pretty active on generally all three. If you also want to keep up with moi, you got multiple ways of doing that. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for all you guys at ZK Podcast. That is at ZKP ODCAST. You can find us on all three of those platforms, and the Facebook page finally had its name changed correctly. I cannot tell you how frustrating it was to have Facebook change my name, But, well, alas, we finally have the name change complete across the board on all social platforms. So I'm very happy about that. If you also want to follow on YouTube, you can do that as well. I'm trying to get the podcasts up faster. I'm so used to just doing only the audio versions on Podbean, and then I keep trying to remember, well, I need to get that out to YouTube as well for those listening on YouTube that want to chime in. They don't want to do a podcast app or download a podcast app. And also, I am trying to open up, if you're interested in joining our Discord, we have a Discord server. It originally was being used for interviews. However, now that I have converted over to a different setup than usual, I'm going to be generally not using Discord for interviews anymore. I would actually like to open up a community, of people that love football and all things football. So if you want an invite, I can send you that invite for the Discord server. Just give me a shout out or message me, and I will gladly do it. I'll also post the Discord link every now and then. Just click on the invite link, and you'll join right in. Well, guys, until next time, I will keep on bringing out some football content. Got a potential USFL retrospective episode I want to do that I just need to get a little more data on, and then I'll have a better episode for you guys out there that I can do that on. And then we're also going to have Tony and Michael Grimberg back on the show at some point soon. I mean, there's no XFL content going on right now, and the NFL is kind of keep picking up, so going to bring them back in, going to talk some NFL free agency once most of the madness is gone, and we'll see what we think. But until next time, guys, thanks again for supporting me. It has been awesome. It's almost been a year since I've launched this podcast, and it's been fun. I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. It's going to be great. Until next time as well, be sure to hit subscribe on the podcast app you listen to. That way you don't miss any episodes as well. I recommend doing that. You can get them as soon as they launch, maybe even earlier than the day I say they will be out. Stay tuned.